What have I learned through my investigation into the roles and functions of assessment? I have learned that it would be nice to move to Finland and work in an education system that promotes equity and focuses on the process, not the results. The greatest influence on my professional stance in pedagogy is Mary Cowie's book, Black Ants and Buddhists, Thinking Critically and Teaching Differently in the Primary Grades. Mary Cowie advocates for social justice and views the curriculum through the framework of understanding the world we live in and trying to do our part to make it a better place. This idea is reflected in the work of Sir Ken Robinson, who sees education as having four main purposes. Robinson believes it is important to be aware of these so you can find a means to achieve them. For Robinson, there are four reasons for education. Firstly, economics. Second, culturally, understanding why your own culture is the way it is and the way others are the way they are. Thirdly, social process. And finally, probably the most important, personal. Education is primarily about people, and that is why so many of us are drawn to the profession. If education is about personal needs, wouldn't it make sense to look at teaching and learning through a student-centered lens? Shelley Wright and Diana Laufenburn support student-centered authentic education because students want to make a difference in the world they live in. Student-centered learning does not stay in the classroom. It moves beyond its walls. It takes on a life of its own, beyond the control of the teacher. The issues that students encounter become real authentic problems, and it means something to them. Diana Laufenburn sees this kind of problem solving as a perfect teaching tool. You cannot learn unless you fail, because failure means having to reflect, revise, and do better next time. However, Sir Ken Robinson and Diana Laufenburn believe that the current nature of education is to teach students to take multiple choice tests. This is not learning. Teaching students to be okay with being wrong and not knowing the answer is how they learn. If standardized testing can only test superficial thinking, what can we do to improve teaching and learning? What types of assessment can encourage innovation, creativity, and engagement? Dylan Williams believes that to make students more responsive to teaching, we need to embed formative assessment into our classrooms. This can be achieved by sharing the learning intention, finding out what students already know, providing feedback that does not look backwards but forwards, learning from each other, and activating students to be their own learners. Rick Wormelli takes this idea of formative assessment further, insisting that children can learn without grades, but they can't learn without formative assessment. Students need feedback. This does not mean they need to be told they have done a good job. They need to have descriptive feedback about why they did a good job. Otherwise, the task will have no real value and the teacher cannot inform their lesson. John Hattie believes that the fundamental role of schools is never to meet the needs of students or to help them rise to their potential. The role of the school is to help students exceed their potential, believing that students can achieve more than they think they can, and to see a potential in a student that they can't see themselves. Alfie Cohen believes that for students to exceed their potential, they need to have autonomy, feel connected, and feel that they are good at something, to feel competent. Students cannot feel this way in a school system that has been preoccupied with accountability. Accountability has become a euphemism used by politicians and the media to assert control over what happens in the classroom by people who are not in the classroom. As a result, intellect and creativity have been squeezed out of the classroom and turning them into test preparation centres. So Ken Robinson believes that college graduates are lacking in innovation and original thought because they are being taught to do tests, not to think. We are teaching our students to live in a future world which we have no idea about. Instead of valuing creativity and innovation, we are teaching students that there is only one right answer on the multiple choice questionnaire. We cannot go into the future with standard testing, and we will not get there with just one answer.
Created using Powtoon.